Peace and blessings. You're watching That's What's Up with Qiyamah Muhammad. That's What's Up is a series to showcase the lives and experiences of those in the albinism community. We are here with our special guest for today, Miss Brandi. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, hello everybody. I'm so excited and honored to be here. My name is Brandi Green. I am a native Chicagoan. I'm also based in Chicago. I'm a social worker, and I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. Okay, so first I'd like to ask, um, when you were born, did and when you were growing up, how did your parents react? Like, what was their reaction?
I think it was tricky. So I was born in '83, and I don't think there was like a lot of information, or at least at the hospital that I was born at, I don't think they really knew what was going on. And I just felt like that left my parents without a lot of resources, and I don't know if they really knew where to go. But in terms of just growing up, they always treated me like, just like anybody else. You're no different than anybody else. You can do things. You might have to do things a little differently.
Mhm.
Um, but the albinism piece was just not really, we didn't really get on that topic a lot. Like it really wasn't just talked about
Mhm.
often because I just don't think they knew what to do with it, or they knew how to handle it. And they didn't have access to resources at the time. But I mean, I'm Black, so they were very much like immersing me in Black culture, Black dolls, everything like that. But I just think the albinism piece, which was a very big piece, an important piece, was missing. And I don't fully fault them. I just don't think they knew what to do with it, or like where to find help.
Mhm. So would you say that there was a lot of struggles, like kind of, or like the type of like not having the knowledge for you be on the sun and not knowing that you're supposed to have like cover yourself so you don't get sunburned and all of that.
Oh, absolutely. That's the unfortunate part, is that I wasn't fully prepared, physically in some ways, and also emotionally in a lot of ways. I think it was very isolating. Like I was the only person, I'm the only person with albinism in both of my families. And it was very isolating growing up, just not, having people to really relate. Like, sure, they like love me and show me that they love me and I was a part of the family. But in terms of having these experiences that I could share and they fully get it and they fully can relate, I really didn't have that. And I just wasn't prepared to, like, I don't know, go out into the world and really like understand my identity and perspective. And I think that just caused a lot of hurt in my self-esteem and things like that. Just a lot of things I had to overcome in that area. But also, yes, and definitely in like not knowing about sunscreen, not knowing about a low vision specialist. I was going to like a regular eye doctor for during childhood, and they just couldn't meet my needs and didn't understand. They misdiagnosed me for years as having partial albinism,
Mhm.
whatever that is, and that doesn't really speak to what is actually albinism and what was going on with me. So it was definitely, I had to overcome some disadvantages in those areas.
Mhm. So um so when did like you and your family like start learning like to start helping you with those disadvantages growing up?
Honestly, it was not until I went to college that I really embraced my albinism and learned more about it. And it was because So I went to a small liberal arts school in Iowa called Grinnell College, and it's super small, maybe like 1,300 at the time, people at the time. And there was a woman there who also has albinism. Like she works as a staff person, like as a counselor. And I mean, it was just like, what are the odds that we would both be there at the same time in the middle of Iowa, and we both are Black and have albinism? So she just kind of took me under her wing and like really mentored me and really was like, yeah, you're gonna be okay. Because for a long time, I felt like I was not gonna be okay, and I felt like, like, what is wrong with me? Like, why am I different? And I'm just never gonna fit in. Um, and she just really kind of connected me uh, to the albinism community, connected me to N.O.A.H. And then I started feeling going to the conferences. So I think it just all clicked for me when I started to learn more about albinism for myself and engage others with albinism and have a community to rely on. Like I felt less alone. And that was like really important. I needed that community because I just hadn't had it. I mean, sure, I've seen people with albinism, growing up through my childhood, but not everybody wants to really connect like that. Not everybody's like looking for that. Some people, unfortunately, may not want to deal with or their albinism or what goes along with it. And so, some of us can be a little more standoffish, and that's fine. Everybody doesn't require community, but I do require community. And so I think just going to college was an a game changer for me. And then I started to come back and share with my family, like this is what it is. I need to go to a low vision specialist. I need sunscreen. I need, these are some of the challenges. And I think I just started to be more vocal about some of the things like that I had been going through. Like, yeah, they knew I couldn't see, but like, what was that doing to me emotionally, or, the
Like they
things that
didn't,
I faced in school, so
so it's like they didn't know the extent of
no.
what you're going through. So
Cause I just didn't, I was like, y'all are not gonna understand. Like, I don't know if you really will get it. So I don't know if it makes sense to share. Like you know, were normally pigmented. They didn't have the same kind of, challenges
mhm.
that we may face sometimes. And so I just didn't feel like it was really a point. So I kind of bottled up a lot of things and
Mm.
um, internalized a lot and just dealt with it the best way that I could, because I just didn't really know like what the outlet, like how to really have an outlet or who to turn to.
Mm.
So
So it's like you were the one to bring the resources and everything to your family, kind of.
yeah.
Um, and was meeting that staff member your first time, like really interacting with someone else with albinism?
Um, like I said, I'd come across like a couple of people with albinism, but like really, really getting to know, yes. Like I hadn't, there's somebody with albinism that I might have been in my school or something, and people would be like, "That's your little sister," and I'd be like, "I really don't know her." So, so right. So I'm sure you can relate. So I definitely I'd seen people in passing, but really connecting and get to know somebody, it really didn't happen until college.
Mm. So how did that like make you feel? Like I know you mentioned that it was like your first like time, and like what are the chances like y'all both Black and in Iowa and just both with albinism, but like just
Um, it was amazing. It was amazing. It felt like home. It felt very comforting. It felt like, okay, so she got me on like multiple levels. She got me as a person. There are some things in our family life that were similar. So she got some of those aspects, like where it was coming from, the albinism piece. We just clicked, and it was like This is how it really felt. It was like ongoing therapy for at least a year, even though that wasn't really her role.
Mm-hmm.
But I did take a lot to her. I did cry to her a lot. I did say, these are some of the things that I've dealt with. These, this is how I feel. I took a lot to her, and she was able to hold it and hold space for me,
Mm-hmm.
and comfort me and be there for me, and also just kind of look out for me, but also just kind of push me and challenge me to like push myself and thinking about albinism, thinking about, because I had a very like what was me outlook on it, and she pushed me to like look at the beauty of it, look at the uniqueness,
Mm-hmm.
and also to look for other people to find that community. She pushed me to N.O.A.H and kind of more into exploring that, but it was amazing. Like it was just like I had been waiting for her, and it was like divine because we both ended up at the same place and we were there at the same amount of time, like and so it was meant to be, and it felt like home. It felt like I finally came home, because for so long I just was like, I felt very lost and unsure and kind of had a hopeless mindset, and just felt really like the albinism was really hard to handle and deal with, up until then.
All right. Do you still keep in contact with her?
I do, not as often because of life, and she has a family and she's doing things and I'm doing things, but I do talk to her. I still consider her a mentor, a big sister. I call her my big sister. So, I do keep up with her still.
Have you ever told her like how you felt, like
I,
how everything was? Like,
I think she does. I think she knows, but I need to tell. I need to, in the essence of giving people their flowers, I need to give her flowers, because I think we just kind of hold on to things and then we think that people know, but it's just good to share that and say like, you really impacted my life, and I'm just really grateful for you, and I'm thankful for everything that you poured into my life. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna tell her one of these days like what she really means to me, and how just us connecting like really in a lot of ways saved my life. Like, so yeah. Thanks for asking.
hey, even if you haven't, like, just send her this video. Be like, this is
Will. I
you.
definitely will.
Yeah, that's good to know, and that'll like strengthen the bond that y'all have in the first had in the
Absolutely.
first place. So
Absolutely.
um so I know that you're saying that everything kind of started to get better in a sense in college, but um how was it in your earlier school days?
Um, I think it was really hard. It was really hard in terms of like the social aspects, and really hard with not being able to see like I don't know, like this is a part of the resources, and my parents not really knowing like, oh, you could have certain low vision aids, or you could have a reader, or you could have things like that. I just was winging it a lot of times. Like I was like, let me just find, I can't really see this board, but I'm gonna ask somebody, I'm just gonna go up there. I was just doing like random stuff because I needed to be able to see. So I had to adapt to like kind of like mainstream classrooms, and I had to do what I needed to do. So it was difficult. And then it was difficult because kids ask a lot of questions, and they are sometimes not very nice about those questions, or sometimes they won't ask a question. They'll just tell you. They'll tell you white, or they'll tell you this or that, and then me not really knowing what was going on with myself and like how to really deal with it, and like not really having the words to kind of say. It was really hard when you don't know who you are, and people constantly tell you who you are, and or who they think you are.
Mm-hmm.
um it feels like you're in constant flux, but like just being a kid and not really understanding,
Mm.
that it was difficult. It was difficult. And then just being in situations where I was like at an all black school and it was really hard. I mean, for like the first year, they called me like white girl.
Oh,
Um, and so just being, but I'm like, I'm black like you, like, but I'm just different and just wanting that acceptance, but not really having it. I mean, eventually having it, because I think they just got used to me, but the initial, like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? Just not feeling welcome, not feeling like, they wanted to get to know me or be my friend. They just wanted to talk about me looking different than them, different,
yeah,
than they were.
I can definitely relate to that, especially being called a white girl, and like
Yeah.
that's like a very specific thing that happened to me too. And then it's like, being a child and everything is like in your mind, that you're black, like your whole
Right.
family. But then it's like, was I adopted maybe? or, or like something
Oh,
like that. But,
I definitely had questions. I don't know what age I was, but maybe like around 8. And I would just like look
Mhm.
at family pictures and I'd be like, why am I different? Like, why does everybody look, like more alike than I do, So just having that realization, like I totally relate. Like just
Mm.
and not really having the words like really express because I'm like a kid and I'm like, I don't know. I just know something is off, but something is not right. In terms of what is happening or something is different, but I don't really know how to express it. So I think it was just hard. And then trying to, just cope with all those things like going on inside of me and then dealing with what was going on with people outside, like it was exhausting. And then also just wanting to be a kid. I just want to be a regular kid. I want to see how to jump and ride my bike and do all this stuff. And also having to negotiate my identity stuff and people's comments. It was a lot.
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely relate. But it's good. That like when you go into college and everything kind of like smoothed out for the better. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Even despite that, I had a pretty good childhood. I mean, and there are some good memories and things I can look back on, and um, yeah. So I think things just started to fall a little more into place when I got older. And I just started like seeking out answers for myself, or like, I mean, um, like I really started exploring like using low vision aids when I was in college. Like I never really, thought to rely on that or knew to rely on those items, or knew what to use. But that's when I really started exploring. That's when I started going to a low vision specialist. That's when you know uh driving became like a real possibility for me. So I think just the more information I got, the more I was connected to others. Like I saw them doing things and I'm like, wait, maybe I can do these things too. Or, I'm learning from others. So I think that it just fell into place for me a little older.
mm. So speaking of driving, are you able to drive? Um,
Okay, so it's complicated, but yeah. So I have my license and I'm able to drive, but I don't drive often. And I would say I'm still learning. I still don't feel comfortable or confident around behind the wheel yet. Um, but I do have the ability to drive. I'm a bioptic driver, so I have to have the bioptic glasses. I'm in the state of Illinois, so I meet the visual acuity, but I do have to wear the glasses. But it's nerve-wracking. Driving is stressful to me. It's like a double-edged sword. I love it because like freedom. It's like, oh, freedom, like independence. I
mm,
can go, I can take myself anywhere. But it's also like stressful because people are mean drivers and like, just they don't know what I'm dealing with. So they don't know like necessarily like about my vision or whatever. They just want to get where they're getting going, and I get stressed out. So
Yeah, I can understand, even though, I haven't been tested to drive or anything, but just
yeah,
being in the car with my family, I'm just like, am I gonna go through this one day?
it's stressful. It's stressful. But I mean, I would say if it's something that you want to do, like definitely explore it. It's worth the journey, I would say.
But hey, and just, like you said, I'm able to go wherever I want to just by myself. But yeah.
Right.
Um, so you mentioned earlier that that a staff member had helped you connect with Noah. How did that come about?
So at some point she was involved in Noah. And so it had been some years, like she had not been active in a very long time, but she was involved during like her teenage years or early adult years. And so she's like, I think you would benefit from going to their conferences and meeting other people. And so she gave me the information and I looked into it. And I went to my first conference when I was like 21, and I have been to several conferences since then. Like I've just been a long time member. And I'm able to just connect with people with albinism and just enjoy the community and learn from others, so yeah, she really kind of opened that door for me and said, hey, here's this organization. I was a part of it, I'm no longer a part of it. um and so, but I think you should check it out. I think you should explore.
So, how was your experience? Like your first meeting, like
With
um,
Noah at a Noah conference.
mhm,
um I think it was just surreal, like going from not seeing many people with albinism to like seeing a whole bunch of people. Is like, wait a minute, like it was freeing. It felt like home once again because it was like a lot of unspoken things. Like I didn't have to address questions about my blackness or why I read things so closely or why I have glasses and still can't see, and et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on. It just was like a space where I could just be and not really deal with all the extra things that can go along with albinism in terms of educating people or answering questions or things like that. So it was amazing, and I don't know how it was just it was just awesome, like because I had never met so many people with albinism and so many different types of people
mhm,
and so many different people, people from different backgrounds, and um it's just amazing. Like I had a really good time, and I met people that I still know to this day, and talk to from Noah. um and I just loved it, and I wanted to be a part of any kind of way, and so uh like eventually I was on the board of directors for a couple years.
mhm.
I'm no longer doing that, but I still volunteer and I still am an active member.
Um, what would you say like your most memorable moment um for with Noah is? Excuse me.
um I think we it was the 2000 it was either I think it was the 2008 conference. It was in Las Vegas.
Mm,
And we had uh this session called Sister Chat, and it was for women of color. Um, and it was just amazing because um, there were two little girls there with their moms,
mm,
and they just kind of opened up and talked about what they had been experienced. They had probably been around 7 or 8, and just the amount of outpouring and support and love that was poured into those girls during that. Like we all just like it felt like a collective hug. Like we all just you know try to speak to them and tell them, it's going to be okay, and just kind of talk to our personal experiences. But I mean, as you know, like a lot of things, I mean, we're all individuals and we're all different, but a lot of things, we share a lot of experiences. We are kind of overlap in the albinism community. So, we talked about being teased and being called Casper or being called white girl or whatever. We talked about this with these young girls, and they were crying and they were just like taking it all in. And I just thought that was powerful because it was like intergenerational. It was all of us kind of talking and speaking to these young girls and building them up, and um just they had just been torn down, knocked down so much that it's like their little spirits were broken. But I really just enjoyed that space to uplift one another, and to just really connect. That's what I really enjoy. I'm a social worker, so I'm touchy feely. So I really just enjoyed those moments where um, I can really be a part of impacting younger generations or talking to younger, you know, children with albinism, and just really supporting and helping them. So that's something that it just was like really organic and natural. We all came together in support of these young girls in this time, and yeah, that's something that will always stick out for me.
Yeah, I can imagine mine. It's like just knowing that those little girls like will grow up just having that moment in their head, be like, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm not the only one. There's
Right.
others like me.
Right. And that's something like I wish that I had at that age. Like I wish like somebody at the age of 8 would like embrace me and tell me it's okay and talk to me and look like me. Like I'm very serious about representation and things like that because I just didn't grow up seeing myself, to be honest. I didn't grow up seeing myself in the media. I didn't grow up seeing myself with like toys or books. And things are changed a little. Things have changed a little. I think, with like the models with albinism, and we've seen some characters with albinism and things like that. So I think it's shifted a little. There's still work to do, but I think just seeing yourself like can make a like a lot of difference, in terms of wow, okay, I s- I don't know, like I just see myself, and so that's something that I'm really serious about and really interested in continuing. Like we need to have more. We need to do more, and so even if I'm somebody for, if they only see me, I'm like, I want them to know like there's so much to this. There's beauty in this. There is positivity. There's things to learn about this. I just want them to fully embrace it. So
Hmm.
I'm all for pouring into to the younger generations.
Yeah, and that is that part of the reason why you got into being a social worker.
Yes, it definitely is. I had a little journey to get there. This is it's not this is my second career. I initially wanted to be I wanted to do journalism. I wanted to do communication. So I started off in communications, and I did that for like 5 years, and then I realized that you have to be a certain personality type for that kind of work, just to kind of always, you have to feel like you're on all the time, like to be on. And I found that to be stressful. I'm a little more of an introvert, so I found that to be really stressful. And I just didn't enjoy it as much. I didn't want to be really partaking in the media. I was more critical of the media. So so I just kind of had to step back and explore like what I really want to do. And then I think I had just been, it's something that I was meant to do. Like social work was like more of a calling. And then I had been like running from it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, but I think everything just fell into place, and I, um, I pursued it. I think just going through the healthcare system with my father when he was sick. We're both degreed, you know, we both have degrees, and but it was still complicated. And I'm like, why is this so complicated? You know, or like, why am I not getting the answers that I need for his care or things like that? And so I think that was like really the push to make me go into that direction. But I think it had already been there a long time ago. Even in N.O.A.H, when I was like leading uh, or I would say co-facilitating or facilitating groups, and I was doing that, but it didn't really click until like, okay, yeah, it's time to really pursue this.
Like that push you needed to.
I did.
Mm. So, how do you enjoy social work so far?
I love it. So I'm not a clinical social worker. I'm not in direct service right now. I am studying for my clinical social work license, but right now I'm more behind the scenes working with data, working with programs. I'm doing quality improvement. So like how to improve their programming, how to improve their numbers, just kind of bringing things to them and talking to them about like their performance.
Mm.
Um, I mean, sometimes it is at the risk of being like the police. I feel like that's sometimes like I'm not the police, you know, but compliance is a big deal, especially when you have grants, especially when you are in like a nonprofit agency kind of landscape. You kind of you need to meet these metrics. So, but I enjoy it so far. It's keeping me busy. It's challenging. I think I do miss kind of more one-on-one interaction. So I think a good role would be half compliance work and then half like working with people. So, you know, that's something that I'm considering as I like look for jobs in the future. But for right now, I'm getting a ton of experience and I'm enjoying it. Like I've only been doing it for like a couple years. So I enjoy it so far.
That's good. Just doing something that like that's like motivating and motivating you.
Yeah,
Everything.
it's hard work.
Mm.
It is a lot that goes into it. It is something that is not always appreciated in society. You know, it's not a glamorous job, but it's a job that's important. And I have a lot of respect for the profession and for fellow social workers and all that we do. So, yeah, it keeps me busy, keeps me on my toes.
Um, so I don't. I guess like me thinking about it, I don't think it would affect it. But do you think your albinism has affected um your work with well, just work in general?
Um, not really. Um, the only thing is like a lot of social work jobs require you to drive,
Mm.
and so that's been tricky kind of navigating that because I don't really want to drive. I mean, I do, but I don't. But I think it's just been uh just tricky navigating that piece. Like when I think about like really trying to look for another job at some point, I might just have to drive because there's just more opportunities
Mm.
to do that. I think that is a part, like most of the job descriptions say like you need access to a vehicle and, you know, stuff like that. And so I think that's something that I really have been grappling with and will really have to deal with. And so So I'm continuing to learn and continuing to practice. I think just as I practice, like somehow I get more confident, but I haven't gotten there yet. But I think that's something that I really need to consider doing in order to, really move my career.
If you ever do need to, drive anywhere, we're all rooting for you. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Did you have any questions for me? Um,
Um, I don't know, just I'd like to know more about your experiences in growing up with albinism and just generally your experiences. Like I know you, but I don't know a lot about, just kind of, things that you've been through or your experiences. And so just, I'd love to know more about you.
um, okay.
I know it's like a loaded, like a big question.
It's not. Well, yeah, it is a loaded question, but to put it into words.
Yeah.
um, I guess I'd say um, I've had similar experiences. Of course, going through school, not being able to see anything. Um, with my teachers, they knew that my vision was poor, so they'd have to print out bigger text so that I
Hmm.
could be able to take notes and everything. Um, or have classmates lend me their books so I could
Right. Been there.
take notes and everything. Um, um, but I also have a very strong support system.
Hmm.
Um, like with my family and um, being in the Nation of Islam.
Hmm. Hmm.
So had a very good and strong community.
Right.
Um, but of course, um, it was kind of like that type of like not really knowing everything, but knowing enough. Um,
Right.
and my mom, she has this story of when I was a baby, and she had the top open, and the sun was out. So I think you can understand what was going on. Was about
Yeah. Oh.
And so this white lady, she had came up to my mom, and she's like, "I think your baby is sunburned."
Oh, wow. Oh no.
So that, I guess, that was like the moment. Like for my mom was like, okay, we need to have like something covering her, like
Yeah.
at all times.
Yeah.
But yeah, um, and um, well, I guess that's
Well,
big for community. Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Um, yeah, that was just um for home life and um part of school life, and with the other students. That was like I mentioned before, I was also called like white girl and everything, and sometimes it would get physical. And
Wow.
but my brother and my dad, they always be like, hit them back. It's like if they hit you, hit them back, and then tell the teacher.
Did you feel like it was a lot of misunderstanding about your albinism and your religion?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
Did you feel like it was a lot of misunderstanding about you having albinism and your religion, or do you think like mostly people were, um, just ignorant about your albinism?
um well, you mean like misunderstandings with other people um in the nation, or
Oh no, like if
uh,
you like with other kids who are just like cruel or teasing, like Did you feel like it was a mix of both, or it was like mostly because you have albinism?
I think it
Like
was,
maybe they just didn't understand, how you dress or the different aspects of your religion.
yeah, I think it was a mix of both. Like I remember this one time, I had on a draped scarf. Excuse me. And um, it was at an after school not an after school club, but it was called Higher Achievement. And one of the girls who always used to pick on me and everything, she had snatched my headscarf off and then like ran around, so I had to catch it. And I was like, I don't want to deal with this. And but
Yeah.
there were some of those like, give her a scarf back. It's like so that was like an, an up and down type of situation.
Yeah.
But um yeah, I think it was a mix of both. Um, just from them knowing that I was Black, because they've seen my parents and my brother, but also that I don't have the same skin tone as them,
Right.
and
Right.
with the fact that I have to, cover, be modest and cover my hair and everything.
Mhm.
Um, so it was like a mix of both.
Okay. What led you to create Confident Albinos?
This,
You're in the hot seat now.
I'm being serious. This is supposed to be yours.
I know. I share. I would share.
Yeah. Um, so the way I started it, my mom, she always said, like, like I want you to be more involved with the community. So, kind of just had the thought, like, hey, I'm albino, and I can. I guess they always say like I'm a good speaker.
Yeah, definitely.
um, so it was kind of just like it kind of just happened. It's like do more with the community. I'm albino, a good speaker. Hey, why not? Why not make make an organization?
Yeah. I think that's dope. I like love seeing all of us do our thing, like there's room for all of us. Um, I I'm here for it. Like I just love to see because we all have our own thing that we're adding, all have our own thing that we're doing. And I just think it's important. That just shows that I think that speaks to such like how dynamic our community is, how diverse, how beautiful. Like I mean, we have lawyers, doctors, influencers, like everything across the board. And I just um love seeing it. So
And it's like even if you got like the same thing, like like somebody else with another organization, it's like we're not reaching like the same demographic, but
right.
like, still the same. Like, it's still targeted towards like that certain type of people, but it'll
Yes,
reach different people at the same time.
I totally agree. And some of us, I don't know, I love see this is why I love social media because it reaches so many people. Like I met so many people like just on social media, and then sometimes I like meet them at a conference or meet them in other spaces. It's just so cool. Like we can all meet each other, and some of us are N.O.A.H, some of us are not. I'm like, hey, whatever. Like let's all talk. I just like seeing my community thrive and just seeing us just do amazing things and support each other. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just all in. I'm all the way bought in. So
Yeah, I'm forward too. And
I love us.
such a community, like
Yeah.
very, very like a family type.
Yeah. And like what a family that just gets it. Like I think that's what I was craving for so long.
Mhm.
And I think it's wonderful that you had like a strong support system. That's I love seeing that. And I just think I just think it's amazing when you can say something and like, like how I was talking and sharing my experience and you like, oh, that's relatable. I know about that. And that's so comfortable and validating for me. Because when I was growing up, I was just like, what is happening right now? Like, I just so many things just didn't make sense to me. And so I just find it really comforting to connect with people that truly, truly, truly get it. Even though they might not have the exact same experience, they know enough to like know where I'm coming from and or have a like similar experience, So I'm just appreciative to the community and I'm always rooting for people.
Same here, and like with everyone, with everyone that I've interviewed, it always felt like an older sibling type of conversation. Of like, you know what? I'm claiming you as an older sibling now.
Yes. Hey, little sis. I'm here for that too. I love it. I love it. Anything that you need, any way that I can help, I'm on board and you got me.
Here, here. Just love the support.
Yeah, I have been wanting this and craving this for so long that when I finally got it, I'm like, yes, I made it. So I'm here. I'm holding on tight, and that's how I feel. And I just think it's important to connect with others and uplift others and just be there.
hmm And I know you mentioned before that we need to see more of people with albinism. Oh, excuse me. um, more of people with albinism in media.
Hmm.
Um, and that just got me. That made. Sorry.
It's
That
okay.
reminded me.
It's okay.
Like even though I'm a good speaker, I still get tongue tied a little bit.
Oh, it's totally fine.
Yeah, that reminded me that me and my brother were working on a comic book. Um, and it's gonna feature an albino female superhero type character.
That's dope.
Yeah, and um, but before I speak a little bit more on that, um, how how do you feel about the way albinism is portrayed in media, like from how very little it is?
Um, I don't I don't like it
Mm.
more times than not. I don't think that it's often like characters with dimensions or
Mm.
quote unquote normal characters with normal lives. I don't like how it's always or more often than not like some supernatural element or like a villain like Black Lightning as a show. I like the show and I'm all for the character Tobias.
Mhm.
But I'm like, why he gotta be a villain? Like, I mean, I'm glad to see that actor working and they don't have like an actor who's not a person with albinism. They didn't just put like white makeup or whatever on him, ridiculous, whatever. But I want, I want to see like more. I want to see him not be a villain. I want to see him have a family. I just want to see more range.
Mhm.
And I want to see us like portrayed as humans and just more like humanity and
Mhm.
feelings and I don't know, like we always get like these supernatural, like I think of like Powder, been called that before. I think about that movie Powder or like the movie Me, Myself, and Irene had a character with albinism in it. And it was just like, I don't want us to be like the butt of jokes or villains. Like I feel like that's usually what we kind of end up being, and I want to be able to show our humanity, our like what we can contribute and
Mhm.
family and things like that. So I really would want to just see us more and just see us like more positively portrayed. And um yeah.
Yeah, and what you said is exactly why me and my brother are making this comment, but it's gonna showcase like the positive and bring that positive light on albinism.
Yeah.
Because I think like I can't think of a single like piece of media, um, like mainstream media that has portrayed albinism in a positive light. Like they're all
Right.
negative. Like we're all like the villains and
Right.
supernatural everything, and it's just like no no positive no positivity in anything.
Right.
Um and yeah, like with the Matrix with the twins, and
Oh yeah, I forgot about
I
them.
think
Yep.
the Da Vinci Code that had a
Yep. The Da Vinci Code.
and my family, we always like have to mention this one, but with the Planet of the Apes, the more recent one, I can't remember what it was. The Rise of the Planet of the it's the most recent one. But
I have no idea, but I didn't even know that they had it was a character with albinism in there.
it was like a gorilla, a ape, an ape, and in my family always say we can't even have a good thing with animals.
Yeah. See,
Like, it's mm, it's just
yeah, I want to see a shift in that because I just want us to be portrayed more positively. I don't know, maybe that will even like the way they talk about jokes, like albinos on shows, like I've heard it like in jokes, like the butt of jokes and
mm,
like Friends and some other stuff. But I just want to see us like have depictions of ourselves. I think everybody should see themselves. Representation matters, you know, as we see with like um everybody else, like the first black VP, the first black woman VP, and South Asian VP, like everybody's like, whoa, you know, like little kids are looking up at her. When you saw that with um President Obama, you know, just everybody should just be able to see themselves and see
exactly.
themselves depicted as a whole person.
Mhm.
And I'm looking forward to more positive representation. So I think that's dope and that you all are working on your comic book, and I look forward to supporting it because I'm waiting for more of that.
Yeah. I'll be sure to share it with you when we get
Yes, please.
all
Thank you.
relevant.
Yes, yes.
Like apart from mainstream media and everything, um, I do know that there's like a lot of beauty influencers that are
Mhm.
albino, and not just to mention like black albinos. So I'm just
Mhm.
like, oh, like they're so artistic, and like I just
Very.
love seeing that, and it's like maybe I can do that too.
You can. There's space. There's room for us all.
Right, like we mentioned before, it's reach different parts of everybody.
Right. And like the main part is like being true to yourself, you know, being doing something that you want to do and that you feel like is your lane. Like we all, you know, have our own lane. We all have our way of doing something, our way um of impacting the world, and you know, just being true to that. I think that's the best way to go about things.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
but
definitely
I love seeing them too. I love I love seeing that. I'm not on TikTok. I'm
Mhm.
like the auntie who's not on TikTok. So but I like seeing people like like the influencers and stuff with albinism doing their TikTok videos or doing their little, their media things that they do. Um, I think it's cool. Like I enjoy it because I'm not in. I can't do that to save my life, but like, I like seeing other people do it.
Uh, um, like I see that too, and I am on TikTok.
Okay, I didn't know you were on TikTok. That's cool. So
I don't
that
post videos or anything, but
oh, okay. Okay. It looks hard, but I don't know because I'm not on there, but I'm like how these videos look really what's the word? It just look like really professional or something, or like there's a lot to go
like
into.
mini movies, kind of.
Yes, but I'm just like, who has to? I don't have to do that. But I'm gonna look at all of your videos and stuff, and um, but yeah, I really I enjoy watching people, and I share. There's been a few that have been really relevant. I think somebody posted a video about questions that you get asked as a person with albinism.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed that because I've been asked every question that that person had on that video. So I think it's just another space for us to really shine and be creative and really share our experiences. So I think that's dope.
Yeah, that's very dope. Like just it's like just another way to reach everybody because like
Right.
TikTok's like a big thing, and like a lot of the younger generations on it too. I'm saying younger generation like I'm not a part of it. But,
Exactly.
but yeah, it's like it's kind of like they're seeing themselves like how we wanted to see us in things. Like they're seeing themselves like, hey, there's this huge creator on TikTok. Like I'd
Yeah.
I'd see someone do that, but
And that's why I'm hopeful, like we will see more varied depictions of our people with albinism because it's like more people are doing it and more people are like just living their lives too. So I'm hopeful that we will just continue to get better, just better portrayals of us, even if it's just us living life on TikTok, because um I think people are more willing to do that and more willing to share their experiences. So I'm excited about that. Are you on what's the other one that people like? Clubhouse? Are you on that one?
oh, sorry, what was that?
Are you on Clubhouse?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah, it's a newer like social media
Hmm.
thing. Um, I'm not on it, but I hear a lot about it. I hear a lot about it in like the professional sense. So yeah, but I don't know. I think you have to be like invited to it. I don't know much about it, but I'm an auntie, so I just stick to my Instagram and keep it moving.
Hey, you got your social media, you know.
Hey, I'm good. I'm mostly on Instagram. I really don't go on Facebook a lot. But I'm mostly on Instagram, and that's where I do my like political, things and share about albinism. But you get in where you fit in. That's what I said. Like
Right.
I like seeing people just do their thing. Like it's cool.
Um, well, I don't want to, keep you much longer than not necessary, but keep you much longer than
Oh, I'm having a blast. So this has been great.
it has. I'm glad we got to have this conversation. You know.
Yeah, I feel like, we've been talking, or we've been like in the same circle, or we've been speaking, and finally we just got it together and
Right.
did this. So this was cool. This was really cool. Thank you for asking me. I'm always appreciative. So thank you.
Thank you for accepting it. Just glad to hear your story and share it with others who take something from it, I hope. And, oh, and speaking of speaking of taking something from it, um, did you have any last words of encouragement that you'd like to share? Or
Just like about anything in general,
Mhm.
or
Yeah,
hmm, let me
it doesn't
let
have to
me
be about albinism specifically, but
um I think just some things that I've learned through life, to I don't know, it's just like all coming together. But like I think we just all been in some trying times, through last year or this past year and currently, and just individual things, we all have things that we're dealing with. Like I just want to encourage people um to keep pushing and to look for hope in the small things, like celebrate every small victory, because sometimes those small victories are just gonna have to get you through. Like because life is tough sometimes, and I think just celebrating what anything positive, thinking about being grateful, thinking about what you're grateful for, and like really keeping that top of mind can really help you, and to really go after your dreams, go after things that you want to do and things that you want to pursue. Like it's not done because you're not doing it. So just do it. And I really think that things will fall into place. I'm a person of faith, and so whether whoever whatever you believe in, I think that it's just important to know that some things are not in your control, but to do what you can do. And I think finally, and I hope all this makes sense. It's just coming out. So, but
hey, that's
I
one of
think
the best. Just
I think right. I think one thing that I've learned throughout the years, is that you can't really control anybody else's response to anything. Or you can't control whether they like you, whether they don't like you, whether they have a problem with you, and definitely not their responses. You can control what you respond to. You can control your response. But just thinking about, I think a lot of times we put a lot of our hopes and dreams and being everything into wrapping it up to like what somebody else says or feels or does about you or about something relating to your life. And I just feel like you can't really control that. You can't really let that sway you either way. I think that's another lesson that I learned. Well, the part about what people think of you being swayed either way is something I learned that's directly related to my albinism, because when I was growing up, like people were mean and they would just be like, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, blah, blah, blah. And then when I got older, people were like, you're so pretty, you're this, you're that. And I think listening to either any of that has you unsettled as a person and what you should feel about yourself. Like you got to be able to validate yourself and not lean on what people think, good or bad. Like you just got to be able to be without the noise. So people have their comments either way, and you got to just you can't be swayed either way. You just have to be yourself and be comfortable with what you feel about you. So these are just some life lessons that I've learned somewhat the hard way, but learned them nonetheless. To just, think about what you can control in life. Think about like um, how you should only validate yourself, and how to keep pushing through tough times. So I hope that reached somebody and help and encourage them, because these are like things that you go through a lot in life, and you're just like you learn some things along the way. You get some wisdom, and those are some nuggets that I've learned along the way. So I hope that was helpful.
I will definitely keep that in my mind too. And hope that others who watch this video will take that to heart as well.
Yeah,
But, and
I think those are just some things that have helped me on my journey. So yeah.
and I think another thing people could take from this video is you'll find your family. Like
Oh
you'll
my gosh,
find
yes.
mm-hmm.
Yes, you'll find your family. I mean, everyone has their origin family, but like there's just something about finding your chosen family that's like really special. And I mean, families are complicated. Even our chosen families, families fight. Like there are dynamics. There's pettiness. But at the end of the day, it's love. It's all love. And so I think just knowing that and keeping that in mind, why are we mad at each other? What's the point? Like, why we could take that energy and do something else with it. Like, that's my thinking about it, is like, why put out like that into the world? I'm not interested in doing. I'm not interested in have people seeing us as people with albinism fight each other. Like, that's not what I don't want. That we already trying to combat negative images. I don't want to see that. So yeah. So I did have one question for you though.
Oh,
Um, I know like the word albino is complicated for some people in the community. And so I wanted to just know your thoughts on like, you know, what you think about that, and like, why you choose albino, or um what, I guess, just more your thoughts about that. I know there's like a lot of pushback and a lot of people who don't like using that word. I'm personally okay with that word, and using that word, but I mean, I also respectful when, if other people don't want to use it, I don't use it, you know, in front of them or and characterizing them. But I just wanted to know, just ask you about that.
I'm in the same boat as you. I'm comfortable with the word albino. Um, and but one thing, um, like just not with the word albino, but people who tell you not to use the word albino,
Yeah.
that kind of irks me because I'm like, you're not me, and
Right.
I'm comfortable with being called albino because it's everyone saying like you're not your condition and everything, and I know that albinism's not a condition but a trait, because it's in your genes. Like both of your parents has to have the gene for you, you know you
Hmm.
either be the carrier or you know so. And people would say that, oh, someone with cancer would say, hey, I'm cancer, but a person with cancer, and you can't really compare albinism
Yeah.
with
No,
cancer. But
absolutely.
yeah,
I
so
also just feel like that's like albino is just like easier for people. Like, they're like, you say albinism and they're like, what's that? And I'm like, it's just easier. It's like it's kind of more out there and known. And if I'm put in a position to like explain or teach you, I just don't want to do all this, like I don't want to do all this work and like having to say like albinism and blah blah blah. But if I say albino, they're like, oh, I know what that is, and I'm like,
Right.
okay, cool, like we good, like and I do tell people like maybe I'm cool with the word, maybe not use that word with everybody. Maybe ask them how they feel about it because you just want to respect people and just make sure you're not offending them. And so I say, I always have that caveat, like I'm comfortable with it, but I know that this is a larger conversation and a lot of people have feelings about it. And those feelings are totally valid because the word is often used in a derogatory way or negatively. And a lot of this goes back to the media, which perpetuates that. So, I get it. I totally understand, but I'm also like, I'm to a point where like, I know who I am. So that word doesn't affect me either way, like I'm albino, I'm a person with albinism, I'm Black, like whatever you want to call me. But, I know and respect people's views can be different, and I'm all for that too. So
Then again, like if you just look up the word albino, it says a person with albinism. So we're saying the same thing, just
right. That is a good point. That's a really good point. So yeah. Yeah, I know it's like, hot button issue for some people, but I'm embracing it personally and going with it. So
but I would also say that I'm embracing it. It's like I am albino. I'm a person with albinism. I'm a Black albino.
right. I mean, I that's why I loved your why yes I'm albino, because it is what it is. This is me. So
and like with the YS I'm albino, that's like reclaiming the word,
yeah,
like person.
exactly.
But
Like when I hear it, and especially from like, I don't know if this is different. I don't think this is different from anybody else, but like when we say it, I'm like, yeah, but like, I mean, also when others say it, I don't really feel attacked or offended, or even if they don't know, if they're asking a question. I mean, sometimes I say albinism and people pronounce it wrong, and I'm just like, albinism, and like, and I just feel like it just might be easier to just say albino because there's albinism and
albinoism.
yeah, let's just keep it simple. Let's just keep it simple, and you can say albino, and I'm cool with that. Don't go saying that to everybody else because we don't know how they're gonna feel about that. But I'm good.
Just ask if you don't know.
Right. right. So yeah.
Thank you for that question. That probably wouldn't have even come up, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm curious. I mean, and it's in your organization's name. I love it. Like, just embrace it.
Right, like gotta be a confident albino brother and sister.
Yes.
Like,
love it.
But yep, thank you for just being my guest for today.
Of course.
And this is your chance to shout out anything you want and give your social media so people, if they want, they can contact you or just follow you.
So I'm really just mostly on Instagram, and my handle is unapologetic _ Black Bino. So Black and then BINO. And yeah, I have something in the works. It's a little premature to share right now, but it is something in the works about albinism. And I used to write a lot about albinism, and I've been away from that, but now I'm coming a little more back to it. So yeah, look out. More to come soon. I will definitely share it with you soon.
I'll be looking forward to it.
um, I just am like, it's just like when you doing new projects and stuff, you just like, wait, I just need to get a little further along in this before I really let everybody know. So,
Right.
but it's definitely coming, and I look forward to it. So find me on Instagram, unapologetic underscore Black Bino.
So everybody make sure to follow her so you can keep tabs on what she's got in the projects. Um,
Yeah.
excuse me. And sorry, my mom's in the background.
Hey, Mom.
Hi.
But yes,
Your daughter's pretty awesome.
Thank you. I think so too.
I'm about to blush.
Thank you for second chances.
Second, third, however many you need.
Awesome.
But yes, thank you once again for being my guest for today.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. And I look forward to watching That's What's Up with Qiyamah Muhammad.
I think thank you to Miss Brandi Green for being my guest for today and for joining me on That's What's Up with Qiyamah Muhammad. Be sure to like and subscribe to see more videos like this one and other content. And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
And we'll keep